Hey y'all, welcome to Lovely J Podcast. It's me, Miss Coco Bowden, on this beautiful Friday evening. I didn't did this one thing. I didn't been on here one time saying this. I do not like the way the new Spreaker is with we cannot go live, because it was so much better when we just go live instead of just pre-recording things. I don't like it. I don't like it because it cuts off on me. And anyways, it's Friday, August the 29th, 2025, and I'm looking and I'm thinking it was just New Year's. We were just celebrating. Everybody was calling saying Happy New Year's, and now so much has happened since January. 2025 has been a year. It's been a great year for me, though. I haven't had any complaints about this year. This year has been good for me. This year has worked for me. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Is it even recording now? It say it's recording, but I don't know if it is, y'all. I hate to really talk and don't know. Okay, I think it is recording. So it's been a great year for me, and it came with its trials and tribulations, but it's still been a great year so far. And for the first time in my life, I feel free. I feel the emotional freedom, not in no relationships, not tied to anybody. And with my ex passing, that was confirmation that I am a free woman and free to get out here and date and enjoy whoever I want to enjoy. And I didn't always feel that freedom when he was alive. In my head, it was like we still were together. Even though we were broke up. We really were broke up. But in my head, we broke up. I just didn't process it. So I'm on the processing end of things now. Processing, when me and Mr. Wilson had ended our relationship. And I'm okay with it. I wish we could have just did right by each other. I really did like the man. I say it all the time because I really did like everything about him. And even when he lost his teeth, I was like, well, the more the cuter. Come here, give me them gums. No. But, yeah. So I feel free now, emotionally free for the first time in my life. I've always been emotionally bound to some type of relationship, and now it's freedom. It's freedom like none other. And what to do with myself, I don't know. After loving you. I like that song. They sung that on my best friend's wedding, which is a movie that I need to watch. I tried to watch a movie this morning, but it didn't go too well because I was so tired. I just went back to sleep. I stayed asleep till 2 o'clock because I pulled an all-nighter working. And I'm going to work some tonight, too, because I just like doing it. I do take my breaks. Tomorrow I will take a break from doing videos and try to get my bedroom set up. But y'all know what, though? I really feel like there's somebody out there for me. And I'm not lonely or anything. I've never felt lonely. That's the thing about it. When I broke up, I didn't have that option of feeling lonely because it wasn't registered in my head or processed in my head that we broke up. And plus, I had God on my side, so I did not endure that moment of being lonely. And then, I had the other side dude, so I didn't have a chance to feel lonely. And I just never was alone like that. I found things to do. I'm gonna tell y'all something. When you have a breakup, don't go down. Like, keep doing things. Find things to do. Because even though that breakup was whipping me, I was still up doing things. I didn't skip a beat to life. And I wasn't just functioning through the breakup. But I was actually living life. This was life that I hadn't lived before and things I hadn't done before. And now here I was doing it. I was doing it and enjoying it. I enjoyed everything I did these last 10 years. But it comes a time when you just have to woman or man up and realize that, we got something we gotta handle before we go any further. Cause we're getting ready to start a new quarter in life. I'm talking about next year will be 50, so that's a new quarter. Getting ready to start a new, we move it on up. And so I want to start fresh with God. I want my heart clean and pure. I don't want to look back and 10 years from now be like, I sure stopped living for 10 years. Because I didn't stop living. I just kept going. Now, was it right to keep going and not address the issues in the breakup? I did try to address the issues in the breakup at therapy, and I had therapy plenty of times. I got proof to show that I was in therapy all those years. I'm talking about with a real therapist. I was in therapy all those years. And I started therapy in 2018. It was October of 2018. That's when I started therapy. And I addressed a lot of that. The anxiety groups I was in, because I had a lot of anxiety after that breakup. I mean, I just had to reframe the way I thought about things, the way I did things. So I ain't gonna lie, therapy did help. I just hate that they got monitors in there now instead of people who really want to work with people and see people healed. Now that part, that you just have to take that for what that's for. But I did go to therapy, and I learned how to rewire my brain. I learned how to, along with the studying too that I was doing, because I was studying studies on women like me who had been through those same type of narcissistic abuse and what the recovery was like. And the recovery is not easy for anybody, but if you truly want to recover, you just got to pick up and do it. But you got to also deal with the roots of what's inside of you. Because when that person leaves you, you still got their ways inside of you. There's still some things that I do to this day that man taught me how to do. He trained me how to take his abuse. And I was training him how to take mine too. That's the thing about narcissism and empaths. And I don't know if anybody's ever really explored it from this angle, because we always want to make the empath look innocent, but the empath is not all that innocent. The empath is just as a willing participant as the narcissist is. One can't do without the other. Like I always say, we crave the narcissist and the narcissist crave us, and once we get them, we don't like what we got, but we don't know how to leave either, because we see they need our help. And that's what the case was with me and him. Once I got him and once he got me, we really wanted each other, and we needed each other for what we needed each other for what we needed each other for. And when that season was up, when it got to be too much on me, I bailed out. I couldn't take it anymore. But you have to deal with the root of things. Getting all of, I don't know if, you know what, I don't even know if you'll be able to get all of that person out of you. Because it's just like that song say, like Candy, why am I stuttering? Like Candy, put you in my mind and spread you all around. He's all around in my head. He's probably going to always be there somewhere in the back of my head with something he told me to do or something I had to learn from him that I didn't learn from my parents. Because keep in mind, he was an older man and he did teach me a lot. And I give him that. I give him the credit for that. He taught me a lot about life. And he didn't even realize he was teaching me so much. He may have thought that I knew things already, but I really didn't. I was just good at making it seem like I knew a lot of stuff, but I really didn't. He taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. But I don't want to take the bad things into another relationship. If I get into another relationship, what I would do different now is I'm not going to waste my time. If we compatible, we compatible. If we loving each other, let's love each other to the fullest. If we hating each other, let's just go on our separate ways. Ain't even no need in trying to run it down and give it all these chance after chances. I mean, I don't. One thing, after you've been through a lot of hurt and pain, you can see what a person who's appreciative of a second chance looks like, because they would come back with changed behavior. Remember, one mistake, okay, we believe you. Two mistakes, okay, now you pushing it. If you keep making that, by the third time, if you keep making the same so-called mistakes over and over, it's no longer a mistake. That's your personality. That's your behavior. That's your pattern. You done created a pattern here. And you trying to train me to take your Bruce and to look over what you doing. And we not doing that. I'm not doing that again. I spent most of my life doing that. I've spent all my life people pleasing up until 2020. You know how long ago 2020 was? Wait a minute. Y'all don't know. 2020 was just 5 years ago. So you mean tell me I spent all of my life till just 5 years ago? I'm 49 now. I'm 49, so minus 5. So I was 44 years old when I realized that I was a people pleaser. So you see what I'm saying? Don't want to do that anymore. Once I learned the lesson, I'm pretty much like, okay, here we go. I have friends because we need friends. And it's okay to talk to casual friends but don't let them dump on you. If they start dumping on you, you didn't messed up something. You didn't became a therapist. And if you're not a therapist, stay out of that realm, because that's heavy weight. I used to sit around and let people dump their problems off on me, and that didn't make it good for me or my relationship. It was a downfall in my relationship. Letting people sit up around me and dump their problems off on me. And meanwhile, they're not trying to change nothing about their life. They don't see nothing wrong with they doing. They just see what's wrong with the other person doing and things. No. Not gonna do it. I want to date with purpose. I really do. I don't want to date just to be out here dating and saying I got a boyfriend, or just to be taking a picture and looking good in the picture, but we not on one accord outside of the picture. No, I don't want none of that. I need a real love. This time we got a real love. That's what I want, a real love this time. I don't want none of that fake stuff. And third time's the charm. Remember, I've only been in 2 relationships in these 49 years. So hopefully this third time is going to be the real deal, and I won't have to get in no more relationships. And this will carry out, have weight. And it's so... At one time, I used to be excited to start over. But this has got to be the hardest time for me to start over dating, where I'm really a free woman, where there are no emotional ties or no soul ties or no strings attached. This is going to be the first time I start dating with a clean slate, where nobody's lingering in my background. I don't know what that feels like, because I've always had somebody lingering in the background, and it's always felt like the Princess and the Frog thing, like come save me, the Beauty and the Beast thing, like come save me. You know, he saved me from the relationship I was in prior, and then, you know, I looked at the other guy, the situationship, for him to save me from him, and he did for those 10 years. He kept me away from him. And it was good. The situationship, that relationship wasn't a bad one at all. But what made it toxic was it was too much sneakiness. And it just was not. Covert narcissism. You think you got somebody good and nice, and you know, for the first time, no man was fussing at me, no man was cussing me out. And, no man just wanted me for my body or anything like that. And anything I wanted to do with this guy, he allowed me to do. But then it got to a point where he wasn't like Rollo. Rollo was proud to have me on his side. He showed me off everywhere we go. That's my old lady, man. That's my old lady. Let everybody know I was his old lady. But this one here only wanted to meet in private, and we could never go to church together, could never sit together, or if we were together, he'd stand behind me and just didn't want people to know he was with me. And I see why, because he had like 8 or 10 other women that he was doing the same thing for. And I'm glad that's not even lingering in the background anymore. So I'm happy to be starting my new journey off, and I don't know if I want to call this a new dating journey. I'm just gonna live life and let it fall where it fall. Because one thing about God, He knows the plans that He has for me, and I trust those plans. So I'm not gonna insert my plans into God's plans. I want God's plan to work in my life, and I pray. My prayer is that I recognize when God is working in my life and never forget it. And that I give Him all the praise for working in my life. That's one of the things that I want to do, is continue to keep my walk with God closer and keep letting Him clean me up and things. Because honestly, what should have took me out, what could have took me out, and I'm being real. That thing hurt so bad emotionally over these last 27 years. What should have took me out didn't even stand a chance. It just made me stronger. It made me stronger. That's what it did. And I'm just, thankful. I'm so thankful right now to be emotionally free. To be able to recognize that I am free and free indeed. And, there's a saying, who the Son is set free is free indeed. That's a true saying. But you know what keeps us from being free? When we don't even know we bound. I didn't even realize I was emotionally bound or emotionally still tied to Him until they said He was gone. That's when I realized that, no, there's some unfinished business here. And I immediately recognized that it wasn't with Him. It wasn't on His end. It was on my end. Because me and Him, we made right with each other. He forgave me. I forgave Him. He kissed me on my forehead. And we were good with each other from that point on. We spoke to each other. He would call me for my birthdays, holidays. And that's how we got along. That's how we got along them last 10 years. Now, I don't believe we could have we couldn't have sat together for a whole hour, though. Or 2 hours. Say, like, if me and him just sitting in the car talking. We couldn't have did that for no whole hour or 2 hours. Because we would have then fell out with one another. Because he hadn't changed his ways. And he be quick-tempered. And y'all know, I had to go right back with him. And, it's so easy to jump back into your ways. So, but when we did, we were good together. Oh, this wind feels good out here. It's so pretty down here at my mama's place. I'm sitting at my mama and daddy's old house where I was raised at. And it's just as beautiful down here as ever, but it needs to be cleaned up. Yeah. So I'm going to take this opportunity and live life on the good wild side. It's a good wild side out there. And I want to take it for a ride. I want to know what it feels like to be really out there. He gave me He gave me a good lesson in teaching in life. And so now I know that well, let me say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to give him this. I'm going to give him this much credit. And I know people not going to like this. But he gave me a good experience at romance. that I don't even think some can live up to. Because that man was cooking me breakfast and bringing it in bed. He was cooking me dinner, lunch, dinner, 3 meals a day. He had it down pat. He was prepping, he was cleaning, he'd come do the yards and all that. So, you know, you gotta come good, because he was pretty good in that area. His downfall was drugs. It wasn't the loving on me part, it was drugs. And the drugs had us fussing, because most of the time when we fuss is when he wanted to get out to go do drugs or make money to do drugs. That's where our fusses and the cheating things came from, off the drug side of things. But other than that, if you want to know how the brother was romantic. He was very romantic. He always let me lay in his arms and hug up on him and stuff. And he loved doing it in public. I was the one that was ashamed to do it in public, because I'm not into my mature womanhood at that time, not knowing how important it is, you know, to show up and let people know, hey, this is who I love. I wasn't into that at that time, because I was so young, 22 and 30 years old. You don't realize what you got when somebody is actually really telling the world, hey, this is who I'm with. Didn't realize it. And so he was good in that part. So you have to come pretty strong. If I get a man, they got to come pretty strong. They got to outdo that. And I'm not putting them in no competition. But one thing I've learned is not to settle for less. And I know that if he could do that good, even in his bad time, you know, being an addict, then I expect a non-addict to come, you know, even better. It should be better. Because that part, he didn't have no problem in. I promise you he didn't. If anyone had a problem in that area, that was me, because I just didn't know better. Yep. And I promised the new guy he would not have to hear me talk about him at all. Because I'm going to be so happy that I got somebody in my life. I'm not going to have room to talk about him like that. And that's why I'm thankful for this podcast, because I can talk about him as much as I want on here, but once I'm in a relationship with someone, I won't be able to talk about him like that. I wouldn't put that level of disrespect into my new relationship, because to me that would be like disrespecting and still trying to hold on. And I do this podcast here. It helps me, and at the same time, it's education for somebody else. That's just all it is. It's education for the next woman, the next man who may end up in a narcissism relationship, and something to keep in mind. While I'm saying that he was a romantic and this and that, keep in mind when narcissists do things, they usually just do it for themselves. They really do. Anything they do is for themselves, and if you just happen to get the good side of it, like I did in some of those areas and some of those days, then you are blessed, because when they do something, it's really because it's something they want, or something they're trying to do, something they're trying to manifest on their own, and you just gotta trust God with all that. And don't let people get into your ear. I'm going to keep telling people that. That's the worst thing I could do. It seemed like when I started listening to people, that was making it worse for me. My goal now is to get me some teeth. Looking at them teeth now, them things done had it. I need some teeth. I want to work on getting me some teeth. I got to make me an eye appointment. And what else? Yeah, we got to be driving. I promised them girls we'll get them at 5. So we got to be driving. If you hear me moving and things, that's because I'm driving. Got to go pick my granddaughters up. And I'm not going to put that seatbelt on, because it's just right here. I'm not far from them. I tell you what I do like. I like men who like going to fairs and things. And hopefully now I'll be able to. I believe this latter part of my life, I believe this is going to be the best part of my life. I truly do. I don't care about being even though they've got me labeled out here as a target and things and, flag name. I don't believe they can outdo God. I know they can't outdo God with my future. So I'm going to take what I got and enjoy it and work with it. I'm sleepy, y'all. Did I talk myself to sleep? I've been tired of all this. Look, I worked so hard this week to get them videos out. We changing subjects now. I worked so hard to get them videos out. By Friday, I was just tired. Or it could be my shot. I did take my Mounjaro shot yesterday, and usually I'm tired like the first 2 days. But y'all go have yourself a great weekend. Don't let nobody block your flow. Don't let nobody hold you emotionally bound. You are your own person. Don't let people make you be emotionally bound. Be yourself. Love from a genuine place. And love will find you. I truly believe that love will find you. And I also truly believe this too. I believe God can change anybody that wants to be changed. And the thing with narcissists is they don't want to be changed. They are fine with who they are. And you have to be fine with who they are too. And while you being fine with who they are, you have to protect and just guard your heart at all times. And while you're in the process of that guarding your heart, if you're going to stay with them, just know you're in for a very spontaneous life. And you're in for a life of you don't know what to expect from minute to minute, day to day. You're going to live on the edge with them. If you could prepare yourself to live on the edge with them, you'll be fine. But there's no way to prepare for that level of hate or emotional bruise. And if you stay in it for a long time, it's nobody's fault but your own. That's why I don't really blame him by himself, because I do have to take responsibility and accountability for my part in that relationship. I wanted him there just as much as he wanted to be there. I wanted him there too. And everything on him. Some of the stuff was me. And I have to live and learn from that and grow from it. And forgive myself for those moments, those days. And I have forgiven myself. That's why I'm able to talk about it. Because I have forgiven myself. All right, y'all. Peace, love, and happiness. I got to find these granddaughters and so they can come on. Oh, they're coming now. They see me. All right. So y'all have a great one.